Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Sorry, I was just sorting something out. Afternoon, MCAM, how are you? Just bear with me a second. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah man, I'm alright, I've cold's lingering, it won't piss off. Give me a sinus headache the past couple of days, and I had to do like a steam thing, like basically huff steam, and it kind of worked. I don't know how long for. Anyway, let's get into some analysis here. I've not done anything over the weekend in terms of analysis, so we're fresh. So we still have this buy side here. Oh, let me remove some of these old drawings actually. Let me just check OBF. We're fine. So it's a no news Monday today, and yeah, and it's December, so kind of a recipe for disaster. But we'll, sometimes I find the best trades in the most unpredictable circumstances. So we'll see. We'll hold out. We'll be careful as well. I'm not going to try and force anything today. Obviously, if it's super clean, then as usual, I'll take it. This is our buy side draw for today. We are still delivering from this daily FVG here. So, I mean, I am bullish. I don't really see any reason for us to go lower, especially since we're already so close to buy side, but we'll mark out this this daily here too. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, anyway, let's get on to the 4 hour and see. Alright, so it looks like we swept this buy side here. We can remove these. We have some from Friday. We're also reacting off of a H4 FVG here. I'll include the NWOG as well, since it's a volume imbalance on the daily. So drag these out to trading time so we don't lose track. But there is another high here on the 4 hour. You can see just here. And obviously we have a 4 hour FVG above, so if we start powering through this high, we could potentially target a runner up to this H4 imbalance. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's all-time highs, isn't it? Yeah, this is all-time highs. I'll just mark out all-time highs for the sake of it, just so we know that we're in there. Okay, so this looks all balanced. I don't see why price should come down here. This is all balanced price, so unless we want to do a low resistance liquidity run, but I mean, there is a lot of stacked lows, but I can't really see that happening until we've taken this draw or we have some sort of SMT. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It looks like we tapped EQ at this range. We didn't actually. We did not have EQ. Okay, so that might be a nice potential area to long from. This low here, which is in discount. We also have a untapped H1 FVG here. So rather than keep the H4 marked out, since we already know it rejected off of that, we can mark out this H1 since it's completely unmitigated. And we have a nice high here, just above. I'll take a look at the macros in a second, and we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we also have an SMT at the highs currently, right here. So we may well get that retracement into that H1 gap here with the low. Looks pretty primed. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I don't really like is that this is a low resistance liquidity run here. So it's just whether there's something of value apart from this liquidity the price would want to rebalance. And the only thing I can see is these multiple stack lows all the way, basically all going down to this daily FEG. But like I say, I kind of want to see this high here taken first. But we'll just react to what we see, I guess. Do we have SMT at the low? Okay, so we have SMT at the lows as well. So yeah, might be one of those days, one of them slow days. We have SMT at the highs and the lows. So maybe we won't get that retracement. But since I'm bullish, I'll just remove the SMT at the highs for now, and just keep it in mind that it is there in case we do get that retracement lower. Yeah, we didn't rebalance EQ. I know it looks like we did here, but when you drag this down to this high, right here, we just missed it. So yeah, I then have to drag it all the way up to complete the range, and then we have a nice low here and discount just above a gap. And obviously, we have the NWOG just below as well in case price wants to come down and tap that. So yeah, pretty much. I mean, we'll go down to a lower time frame here in a second. There's no imbalances on that side, so it should be a clean run to the highs. Price action is good. Rejecting off of M15 FEG. Currently, and then obviously 830 looks like it's manipulated lower. We go down to the 5. Oh wow, a little IFEG here. Okay, so yeah, 830 looks like it manipulated lower, but recently, I mean, just with December price action, it hasn't really been working out that great. The rejection, the 830 manipulation. So usually we'd be getting an expansion pre-market, and we haven't really had that today, which is a good sign. So hopefully. Okay, so what I want to see going into market open in 8 minutes is potential manipulation down here. Take out this sell side. I know we have SMT, but we also have SMT at the highs. Tap this H1 FVG in discount, and then get some sort of clean A plus to go higher towards our buy side draw, which is right here. And if we get that, then we can hold a runner for that buy side draw. That's where our high risk to reward comes into play. So, for example, if we got this sort of a run down here, maybe this little pullback, and then basically this, you could if this was on like the 1 minute or something, or the 30-second, you could then enter on the close of the IFEG, and then you've got a really, really big risk to reward here to the draw, 1 to 10. So that's just hypothetical, obviously, and we'll have to wait and see what we get, but that's what I want to see. So I'll just remove these for now. Okay, so it looks like we're rejecting off the 830 opening price here. We do still have 7 minutes until market open. Right, so gone down to the 1 minute. Yeah, there's not really too much on the 1 minute, to be honest. Looks like we're having, excuse me, looks like we're engineering some highs here, some sell stops or buy stops actually. So, yeah, I mean, I'll pretty much just wait here now until market open. Hopefully, we get that dive into this area here, and then a nice a clean A plus long, basically. This here. Oh wait, we're rejecting off any high time frame PDOs. Not that I can see. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this one here, 820. This is quite clean if you traded just liquidity. So obviously you don't have the high time frame imbalance, but if you traded just liquidity, it's going to be quite choppy, obviously, because of it being pre-market. But you could have targeted like a 1 to 1.5 or something onto this low. Yeah, it's like a 1 to 1.6, so not bad trade there. Yeah, but nothing else here is really great, to be honest. I noticed this 5 minute inversion. Again, it's not really great because we already inversed this one, and then we didn't really sweep any major sell side liquidity. So this isn't really a valid valid long setup. Plus, you didn't even go to the high anyway. So if it's not valid, it's most likely not going to pump to the draw. So yeah, we'll just sit here and wait a little bit. Past couple of days haven't been great, so hopefully we can catch something a little bit better today. Usually I avoid trading on a no news Monday, but sometimes I'll catch the cleanest setup on a no news Monday. It makes no sense. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hello to the viewers in TikTok. Appreciate you tuning in. We're just waiting here until market open, 4 minutes, and we'll see what we can get. So this is my second stream here on TikTok, so once I've done one more, I think I'll access all of the features of live, and I can use my OBS overlay in the TikTok stream too. So it'll be a bit cleaner. It'll be better than just my phone pointed at the screen. I've got one more stream left until I can do that. So looks like we might get it, to be fair. We're coming down here. Hopefully we continue a little bit lower, come market open, and get our reaction off this H1 gap. Maybe dig into the end dog here. Oh, end log actually, because it's the new week opening gap, not the new day opening gap. What is 15 minutes doing? I am open to switching bias bearish. I am currently bullish, but I am open to switching bearish just because we have this low resistance liquidity run here. Although price is balanced, this is quite low resistance. It's just a load of stacked lows. It's usually a good target for shorts. And obviously we have this completely unfilled gap here as well. So like I say, price doesn't have to come down here. I'm still bullish. This is still my drawing liquidity. So right, so we did just sweep a low here. Just drop down to the 30-second. If this wasn't like 2 minutes before market open and this FEG here was slightly bigger, this would be a super clean setup. But obviously we need to wait till market open. We've got 1 minute here until market open. Okay, so here's market open. Let's see if we get this this pullback down here. Now you see why I don't enter pre-market. Obviously, we would have just wicked the stop loss, so would have been an instant loss. We're volatile here. There's that engineered buy stops I mentioned. Price just ran those. You can kind of see this working as well because there's one here as well. Engineered liquidity. And multiple lows or highs stacked, sort of in a less than 45-degree uptrend. Price likes to run those. There's SMT at the lows again. ES has just taken this low. NQ didn't, so if we got the entry, obviously this would be clean. An entry on ES. I've not even done any markup on ES, so I don't know where the draw on liquidity is or anything on ES. The fact that ES took the low and NQ didn't means that ES is weaker anyway, so it's not really too ideal to short. Okay, so we do have a 930 wick here. This usually acts as like sort of a excuse me, sorry. Now this usually acts as like a data high or a data low. It's very similar. Usually a good draw, like short-term draw. So potentially we take this buy side here and maybe head lower. Have to wait and see though. The SMT, so the indices at the minute are quite uncorrelated. I'll quickly switch to ES just so you can see what I mean. ES is going down, NQ is going up, so it's not. It usually means that the price, the conditions aren't great, especially when you've got SMT flip flopping each side. I think what we do here is we just wait until price clears up a little bit. Not trying to force anything. All right, so I mean, it looks like my buy side draw on liquidity was right. We're heading straight for it, so maybe we stall and get some sort of 6 sister setup on ES. Okay, so let me just take a look here. What all are we missing? the SMT at the highs is still here. And since NQ took buy-side liquidity and ES didn't, it means that the SMT at the lows has now been, validated, basically. We swept this high here. As soon as SMT sweeps a high or a low, you can kind of write it off as finished. Obviously, if the move is higher, then you can still keep in the back of your mind, the move might not be done, but we can see there's a decent sized wick forming here. We'll have to see if we get a rejection. There's no high time frame inversion, is there? No, there's nothing. Oh, there's an M3. The entry on the M3 is not great. Neither is the M2, to be honest. Obviously, we've already swept liquidity, so kind of just be taking it for the sake of taking it if you tried to scale lower and take this, for example. It might be like a low risk play if we do get it, because we have rebalanced the EQ, but ES is heading lower, so you're kind of playing against the market, especially when it's uncorrelated like this. So we've swept buy side. We have SMT at the highs. We have a decent short frame drawn liquidity. I can't think of the word. 930 low here. Short term, that's it. Short term drawn liquidity. Now we have a H1 gap here, still in discount with a stacked low. And obviously we have all of this sell side liquidity below. So if we get, for example, maybe this 3-minute inversion, rather than taking the 3-minute inversion itself, what we could do is we can zoom in to the 1 minute or the 30-second. And we can then look for a confirmation setup, basically a 30-second inversion off the 3-minute inversion, and that will just, gives a little bit more clarity and security, especially because of how price action's being. We're still uncorrelated, so. We closed that 15-minute, or we did. We closed through the 15-minute too. I'm just not usually a fan when we leave, a draw like this, but I have seen it leave the buy side draw liquidity and just reverse right before it. It does do that, I guess. Any others? No, it's literally just the M3. We'll see if this M3 holds. There's nothing to try and long off of this imbalance here. There's no inefficiencies to try and take an inversion off of, apart from this 30-second. So At the minute we have kind of conflicting information here. ES is diving lower, which means the NQ usually follows, but obviously the draw is higher, but we have SMT at the highs. We have a nice short-term draw here and here, so you kind of, conflicted. So it has to be clean, when price action is really good, you can kind of be a little bit more lenient, but when it's like this, it has to be clean. Order flow is still technically bullish as well. We haven't shown any signs of a reversal or anything, so see how this 3-minute candle closes here in in a minute or so. I think 1 minute and 6 seconds so we get this 3-minute candle closure. ES is still diving lower here. I think it's heading for those stacked lows. So yeah, NQ might follow suit. We'll see. We'll wait and see. Just be patient. Okay, so we get the M3 closure there. If price action was super clean, I'd have taken this just straight up, but obviously it's not. So you have conflicting information. So yeah, I wouldn't have. I'm not taking this because it's not super clean, but yeah, obviously if it was, this would have been a good entry. The thing is, there's not really any sell side target apart from like these stacked lows here. There's not really too much. Like if you went all the way down there, it's a decent risk to reward, but I kind of need to see like something on 30-second maybe, like a pullback and that. But this is already invalid for a 3-minute setup now because we've swept the low. So you'd have had to have been quick. You'd have had to have entered straight on this candle close, and then you have to wait now for the next 3-minute candle to go break even, which is one of the reasons why I always dive onto the lower time frame so I can go break even earlier. Jeez, what is going on here? And that's why I like going onto the lower time frame, and I didn't take this because of how price is. If this was a 30-second sort of pullback, we would have gone break even as soon as we took this low here. Like say we did this, for example. We came down, maybe closed below the 3-minute, gave a 30-second inversion lower, and then, took the low. You'd have gone break even as soon as it took this low here instead of this one. So you wouldn't have even, you wouldn't have to deal with all of this. But yeah, for a 3-minute setup, this is invalid. If you didn't enter on this close, and then obviously it hit the break-even point, but you wouldn't have gone break-even yet, so it's not really that good of a setup, just given the context of how price is being at the minute. We did sweep some sell side, so maybe this is a valid long. I mean, we did balance EQ. I'm gonna tape read this. I'm gonna say this is a decent long. I'm not taking it just because of, you know, the wicks and stuff. It's not clean, you know. And obviously we did get the 3-minute inversion in the opposite direction, so there's no M1 either. It's literally just a 30-second setup. So this is a tape read. This isn't, I've not taken this trade here. It's just not super clean for me. Context matters in trading more than mechanical entry criteria, and for me the context isn't great here, so it's not my trade. But yeah, I mean, in terms of mechanical entry criteria, we did tap EQ, we've swept a low. I just don't really like that we didn't tap this H1 too. And obviously we have the 3-minute inversion in the opposite direction too, so it's just kind of meh, if you get me. We had the 15 inversion. Yeah. It's a meh setup. This is okay, I guess. The thing is, like, you know, nitpicking, you know? When you get in, the win price is giving you multiple inversions in different directions, and then both the markets are uncorrelated, you're then, you know, it indicates chop, and that's kind of when I want to set out. I don't really want to be participating in that. You know, my entry criteria is when I get an A plus inversion setup against me. I mean, this isn't A plus, but I'd still close if we got this. Like if I was in this long here, it's just it's not great. We'll keep this tape read here though, just, you know. And this is something you can do yourself, you know, like if you can see that price isn't ideal, you can just tape read, you know. There's no shame in sitting out and not taking a trade. If anything, not taking a loss feels better than taking a win. So if you've successfully sat out and not entered a losing trade because you can see the context isn't great, you know, we have a lot of chop here, multiple inversions in different directions, conflicting draws on liquidity, SMT at the highs and lows, like price action isn't great. So you sit out and don't participate, like what have you got to lose? You know, you can be like, oh yeah, this is a good setup, let's see if it plays out. But if you then don't take the setup and it ends up losing because of your own decision, it feels so much better than taking a win. Like if I entered this here, which I didn't, but if I did and then I lost, dude, I'd be, you know, I wouldn't be mad or anything, but I'd have probably been more annoyed at myself because I knew that the context wasn't good and I was kind of just forcing this if I took this long here. You know, this is a forced trade if I took this. That's why I tape read it and didn't even enter the trade or anything. Yeah. And then this M1 here, it's okay for a confirmation, but because we already swept this low here, and then we didn't take any buy side or tap into any inefficiencies, it's still not great in the context. Like sometimes if there's too much, if there's like so many influences that go against the context, you can kind of be like, okay, well, confluence justifies it. You know, if we swept a high here, we tapped into an FVG, say something that was unbalanced here on the M1, for example, maybe swept this high here instead of just wicking, like just in the rejection block. you know, you could have then justified, okay, well, context isn't great, but the trade's pretty clear cut. You know, we've got a nice draw on liquidity lower. We got the lows, and then maybe you could have entered, but yeah, for me, it's just still not clean. I've seen so many clearer setups than this, and I don't get why you wouldn't just wait for something clean. You know, why wouldn't you just wait for something cleaner? So that's the way that I look at it, anyway. So we've tapped into the end dog, and we've also rebalanced this H1, swept the sell side, but this 30-second inversion here is quite big. So you'd kind of have to scale up the time frames here. Yeah, we'll just wait. We'll just wait and see. Maybe we get another manipulation leg and something clean from this area, which is what we were originally looking for. Go for this high. So we'll just wait and see. Let me just check to see if we have SMT at the lows still. Now NQ's dumped. Okay, so we have SMT at the lows now, so that's okay. Yeah, this is quite big, so to take this is quite risky, especially when you have, you know, higher time frame gaps here. So you kind of have to wait for this 2-minute right here to be closed above before you can try and target higher. But we can just wait and see. Sometimes you'll get an extra manipulation leg down here. Maybe you give another SMT or sweep the low or something, and then you can get a clean 30-second inversion off of that. So we'll just wait and see. I'll just keep this marked up as an M3 IFVG. Like I say, we might get that extra manipulation leg, or we might just continue lower. But in which case, there was no valid short to go lower. You know, there was nothing. So this is a very B setup. It's not really that clean. Plus, you got a lot of chop coming off here. It could have easily ran higher too. Like, you have such a strong draw here. Daily gap with the with the old high, you know. This might have been our extra manipulation leg. We might just be chopping in this range. Just have to wait and see. Wait for a confirmation. Like I say, if we're going to try and go long here, we need this 2-minute inversion closed above. That way, we have all of the A+ criteria. We have you know, higher time frame imbalance. We have sell side sweep. We have SMT at the lows, which we do, by the way. Let me mark those out. We do have SMT at the lows here. Although the context isn't really that great, just because obviously we are still kind of chopping. If we do get this, and it's a big if, it will be valid. We are reacting off the NWOG as well, so, and obviously we're reacting off discount into the range. We have a nice draw in liquidity. It's not bad. Like I say, price may continue down here. May continue to sweep these stacked lows. There's a big unfilled 15-minute FVG here. You have to wait for the inversion just to confirm the change in order flow. That's why I don't trade BOS. I don't trade change of character or market structure shift or anything like that. I just find them to be too unpredictable, man. Because if you were going off a market structure shift, like, you know, what's this? A market structure shift, but all we did was sweep liquidity and dump lower, you know. I always find market structure shifts to be super unreliable. Like here as well, like, well, market structure shift, okay, well, you've just split liquidity. Maybe there's a couple of valid examples, and obviously I don't trade it, so I can't really comment on context is used. I assume similar to mine, but I just find it unreliable. I used to trade it for a little bit back when I was first learning ICT, but I quickly figured out that it's not that great. It really isn't that great. I'm just gonna head off to the toilet here in a sec. I'll be back shortly. Apologies for that. I'm back. Smack my microphone. Prices are being very slow now. Well, I said that we needed this, this 2-minute here. It's actually quite a shame because if there was a 30-second IFEG here, for example, yeah, this would have been clean. You know, you swept the highs with SMT. It's very close to our draw, which is one downside. But I mean, if you're going off risk to reward, you know, the risk to reward would have been crazy. You know, if we got it like right here, for example, you know, even if you put the stop at the high, target the low resistance liquidity run right here. crazy risk to reward. But we didn't get it, and obviously then we had to wait for the 3 minutes to close. The 3 minute was invalid. The 3 minute closed, but then obviously we were looking for a confirmation, but it swept the low anyway, so then it's invalid. And then this one here, this was also invalid because we didn't sweep any highs. If we swept this high, maybe tapped into this gap here, it would have been valid and we could have taken it, but we dumped here to like this H1 gap, and that was it then. We've just sort of chopped since. So yeah, looking at the 15 minute, I'm very dual biased now because we obviously have a big candle closure here, lower. Those highs still look primed and reacting off H1 imbalance, NWOG discount, SMT at the lows is very conflicting. And like I said, when the draw is conflicting, it has to be a very clear-cut setup. Price is not good today, so. Hello, viewers in the TikTok. Thanks for tuning in. You drop me a follow. I've got one more stream to do, and then the next one after that, I can use my OBS layout, so you won't have to watch my chart through my phone camera. It's a proper layout. I'm currently using it on YT, so if you want to stick around and maybe catch me, I think Wednesday, I should be able to do that. Tomorrow is going to be another phone camera stream, unfortunately. But then after that one, I'll be able to do the OBS layout, I think. So obviously, I've just noticed this. Again, it could be another tape read because it's just not clear. It's not clean. It's just not clean. It's another tape read though, so let's see. Let's see if this would have hit. I'm thinking like maybe I could try like 1 micro or something, just because of how good the risk reward is. But I'm still very conflicted in my draws, so I really don't know. I'm thinking that I should just try, and if I'm going to take this long, I think I'll just wait for this 2 minute. This 2 minute here. Right now, I mean, you're break even right now. You swept the high, so let's see if this see how this plays out. So if you took this trade on the 30-second, your stop would currently be already break even. So no first day profit though yet. Your first day profit would probably either be this high here or this high. So we have an M1 imbalance here. And that is why this was a tape read and not a live trade. Again, just because of context. I mean, yes, it'd have been a break-even trade, but the context wasn't there. You know, it's a very choppy entry. I do like a clean, 3-candle formation. Like this sort of thing. If you can see that. But that's my favorite kind of formation. I know it looks a bit dodgy, but there's a lot of wickage here, if you can see what I mean. It's just not clean. Yeah, I'll just remove this tape read now. So I'll usually what I'll do when I'm on live stream, I'll do 3 different criteria of trades. I'll either call out a tape read, I'll call out an eval play, I'll call out a low risk funded play, and then like a normal risk funded play. Like those are the really pristine setups. So this was a tape read. So we've just had an inversion and an M1 and a 30-second inversion. So, like, why would I try and take this one? If anyone was thinking that, I don't know if anyone was, but you're thinking, oh yeah, this is a good play. It's the bad play for the exact same reason this one was a bad play. It might be a little bit more cleaner if it closes now, but you've just had an M1 inversion after sweeping a high. Yes, it's a very minor high, but you then have to wait for this 1 minute to close. Maybe if this 1 minute closed, but you're still kind of in chop, Still not clean. So I guess you could take, if this does close, you could take this as like an eval play. But this is definitely not a funded play. It's kind of like bordering on the edge of a tape read and an eval play. If we do get a clean closure, it has to be clean though. You already did have the inversion here, so it's kind of like a confirmation. Obviously, you'd have to be pretty strict with your break even. But if you did target the draw on liquidity, your risk reward's good. So yeah, so I think this is a good low risk eval play here. Actually, never mind, it's invalid. It's invalid, we just swept the high, so that's bad price action for you. That's what happens when price action isn't great. You will just sweep the high before even closing above it, and then the play's invalid. And that's also, if you can see that, I mean, obviously we've got a drop here. That's why I invalidate the play after we sweep the break-even point before closure. Because then, like, we could just reject off the high, Like, this could just be the buy-side liquidity is seeking. And then it rejects, Like, and it matters even more in price action like this, in conditions like this. No News Monday in December. Like I said earlier, it's a recipe for disaster. And if you were unexperienced and if you couldn't see that the context wasn't great, you'd be getting chopped up here, you know. This is a loss if you'd have taken this. Obviously, we invalidated, so it wasn't valid. I did say that. But if you took this, then it's a loss because you'd have had to close when we closed back above the IFEG. That's why I prefer the 3 candle formation. Super simple, super clean. All of this is just noise, you know. This is not good. Wait, I've got to do some live verification thing on TikTok. Bear with me a second. Why, dude? Unable to verify? What do you mean? Oh, we're fine. We're cool. Sorry about that, TikTok viewers. TikTok thinks I'm a robot or something. Let me make sure it's still perfect on screen. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to verify I was not an alien. Or a ghost or something operating my phone. I don't think I'm going to give it too much longer here. You know, I anticipated the chop here, so I think that we might still just range. Yeah, I'd rather just go and spend my time doing something else other than sitting watching barcode price action. I'm sorry, man. I mean, TikTok's always messing up, man. It's making me verify stuff and making sure that I'm still active in the stream. I guess it wants like a hand wave in front of the camera or something. I don't really know, but YouTube, just no stress. Just stream on there, no problem. Mcam, are you taking in everything I'm saying here? You know, are you you got a notepad or something? Because I don't know, man. Good stuff. Good stuff, I guess. Sweet. Yeah, the reason why I'm streaming, it's not to try and sell a course or something. I just want to help people out that are struggling, you know, and if they can get a perspective from someone that's been watching price action consistently for years and get my read on it, like maybe they're confused, they're like, what's going on here? Like you say that you trade inversions, but you've got loads of inversions here, you didn't take a single one. But obviously during the stream of explaining why I'm not taking them and what I'm looking for, so I'm trying to be as helpful as possible. Yeah, good. Make sure you do watch that 2022 mentorship from ICT. It's super good. It's basically the foundations of what I currently trade. Yeah. Obviously, if you're in the search for extensive knowledge on trading, you can always watch more. You don't just have to stick to the 2022 mentorship. He's got loads of other stuff on there, and pretty sure I've watched all of it. I've got like a fat notepad. Maybe I'll scan it and shit and upload a PDF or something of all my notes on ICT in the future. But no, I'll just I'd rather people go out and learn it for themselves rather than just trying to the videos are so much better than I can explain. He has whole lectures on individual concepts, and I'll just sit there and explain it in 5 seconds. I can't accomplish in 5 seconds what he can in a whole hour-long episode. So, yeah, exactly. there's no point in rushing it. As you're learning what he's saying, you could be putting together your own model, or you could be taking notes from mine. Yeah, I mean, if you look at my TikTok, I've got a little image slide of the models I use, so you can always just steal that if you want to. I really don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Feel free. There's a lot of people that trade IFEGs. Obviously, my take on it is a little bit different. I've kind of refined the strategy a little bit better, and I've got different rules and criteria to stop me from taking the losses that people that trade IFEGs normally take. So, and obviously pair that with experience and context, and you've got a recipe for a great model. So hey man, I was telling you to go and check it. I've got an image slide on there. It's got my two models on there. I've got the precision model and I've got the confirmation model. So if you want to, like I say, you want to go and steal them with criteria, then I don't mind. You can do that. I'm pretty sure you follow me on TikTok too, so. I've been editing this video for ages. This long form video that I've got planned for YouTube. It's just, I've been editing it for ages, and with a headache, consistent headache for the past 3 days, it's not been easy. Kind of been doing it in like little bits, and then have to go back to it, and then I just want it to be like really good, I don't want it to be some half-assed video. I want it to be like super in depth. I've got like a section on pretty much everything. It's kind of like a one and done, like watch this video and you have the blueprints to profitability. It's kind of what I want it to be. And I know I said I originally wanted it to be 20 minutes, but it's going to be a lot longer than 20 minutes. So I don't know whether to split it into parts, like episodes, and just maybe do like a 3-part series or something, or just release it all in one go. I don't really know. I think from like a view standpoint and a growth standpoint, it's probably better to split it into episodes. But I'll cross that bridge once I've made the video properly and it's all finished. So I guess it's easier to be like easily digested as well by people trying to learn it. Anything here? No, there's nothing here. There's no long sub here. So, I mean, this 3-minute here, technically not a loss. Your hard stop's going to be at the high, but you'd close the trade if it closed above the IFEG, which it didn't. But I just don't like when it wicks so far into drawdown. That's why I always like going for the confirmation model. Excuse me, sorry. But obviously, the risk to reward, not too great, to be honest. Your first TP would have been here because it's the most obvious resistance point to like reject off of. So obviously, your realistic stop would be here. If it closed above, it'd probably close someone around here. So I mean, your first take profit is like 1-to-1. It's not great, It's quite bad for a first risk to reward ratio partial take profit. But then obviously maybe your TP2 could have been this low, but then you'd 1 to 3.6, so pretty good TP2. And then obviously at the bottom of the low resistance liquidity run was a 1 to 5, so not terrible risk to reward, decent. But the first take profit is not great. But yeah, I mean, you'd have had to have gone break even on this candle close. So, you know, you've had to then wait for another candle while you're already in drawdown. So then this kind of candle could have just rejected this low and shot up, and because our draw on liquidity was here anyway, it could have very well done that. So that's why this trade wasn't great. You know, mechanical entry rules, yes, I guess, but context-wise, no. And then obviously we've seen the exact same reasons, like for lower time frame entries down here. You know, this one, for example, just yeah, it's just not great trading conditions. Like I say, I like something super clean. So. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think I'm gonna cut this short. I didn't think I was gonna get a trade today, and I still don't think that I'm gonna get a trade today, just because no news Monday in December. Maybe tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow's Tuesday, but it is the day before FOMC, so we've got to be careful there. But yeah, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, I mean it is what it is, really. So. All right, well, appreciate anyone tuning in, anyone that watched or learned anything. So, yeah, thank you. And hopefully I'll catch you tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow, same time, about 2:15 UK time or 9:15 New York time. I'm not too sure what that time is in other time frame, in other time zones, but yeah. All right, in a bit, guys. Thanks again.